Hey guys, it's Monday. It's just a short little ending here to the rest of our science notes. On the topic of hurricanes, they're super huge. Like a lot of them are. They could be as big as a couple states. Large tropical storm forms over warm oceans. The winds must reach 110 kilometers, which is like 74 miles an hour. Huge size, 200 kilometers across. They could be way wider or less. Low pressure areas. Again, low is like when you push, you have a bunch of golf balls on your bed and you press down in the middle, those golf balls are going to come in, right? Well, inside of a hurricane, it's a super low pressure. So just like those, if you've ever seen them, they're like these funnels that you put a quarter in and it goes kind of the same thing here. You got a low pressure and everything's sort of falling towards it and then rotating as it does. The moist air flows up around the low in a circular pattern, produces large waves, dies over land because it can't feed off the warm water. The other thing that it does, it pushes a big, if this one's going this way, we'll say, it pushes a big storm surge in front of it, like a big bubble of water. And so when you have a really low city like New Orleans, who, part of it's below sea level, it's going to fill that city up. Okay? There's a great National Geographic that I'm trying to find that shows you how they're formed and where it's kind of interactive, you kind of do it yourself. They form off the coast of, you know what, I have it on the next slide, so let me show it to you. There's the anatomy of one, and you see the storm surge in front of it. This is a hurricane moving from left to right. And here's sort of the storyline of a hurricane. Over here, off the coast of Africa, when they hit the United States, that's where they form. They're just a tropical disturbance. And then a tropical depression, a low. And then things start circulating around that low. Becomes a tropical storm. These are all sort of averages, days. Tropical hurricane or cyclone, once it hits 74 miles an hour. Here's Florida, here's the East Coast. Then it could hit wherever. It could come down here. But just the typical pattern is to come off the coast of Africa, hit the United States, and kind of angle back this way. And then oftentimes if it hits land, not all of them do. In fact, a lot fewer of them hit land than do not hit land. Many do not hit land. Most do not hit land. Okay? And then they'll sort of, flunk out and sort of dissipate and then turn into a storm. But that's the general pattern here. That was a tracking of all hurricanes or tropical depressions or tropical storms over like a 10-year period. So you can see the overwhelming pathway that they take. And then if you look at other parts of the world, there's lots of different places where storms happen. They call them cyclones and stuff when they hit Japan. There's tropical storms that happen over here, down below Indian Ocean, around Australia, out here in the South Pacific. This is the part where we usually see the big hurricanes here, hitting the United States. We have the perfect situation for those to happen. Mostly because the waters of the Caribbean are so warm. Hurricane Katrina from several years ago was quite an event. Any kind of YouTube video on Katrina would probably be pretty good. I'm not going to waste my time on that here. One important thing is the safety that we need to seek when severe weather happens. We don't get hurricanes where we're at. Some people have tried to create semi-hurricane proof houses here, rounding them off. If you live in the southeast, you probably have a whole stash of extra plywood that you put over windows and so on. Lightning is very dangerous. It strikes more often than what you think. Stay away from phones and appliances and metal plumbing if it were to hit your house. You want to be indoors rather than outdoors. If you are outdoors, get low. Don't be the highest thing. If you're on water, get off the water. Meteorologists. It's their job to warn us, the National Weather Service. Hurricanes, the only real nice thing about a hurricane is you usually know when it's coming well in advance, so you can prepare. Tornadoes, very little warning, and they're very intense, but they're small. But weather forecasting can play a big role in making sure more of that loss of life doesn't happen by preparing. Okay, and that's the end of those notes. We'll talk more about the notes when you guys return and review things and break down our science into a couple tests. All right? Make sure you get those notes filled out.